Here's the thing about Netflix's content strategy that nobody really talks about. They built their entire reputation on shows that feel important. Shows that feel like they mean something. And the easiest way to make something feel meaningful is to make it hurt. Grief, trauma, addiction, dying slowly, dying suddenly, being betrayed by everyone you love. Netflix has built a factory for beautiful, prestige, meticulously crafted sadness. And we keep watching. Because the shows are genuinely good. But there's a sliding scale. Some shows will leave you mildly wistful. And some shows will have you calling your mom at 11 p.m. just to make sure she's still alive. I'm ranking those shows today. And I developed a completely rigorous scientific scale for this. The scale is, how bad did I feel the next morning? Tier 5. Melancholy with moments of hope, least depressing. These are the shows that dip into sadness, but ultimately remember that human beings occasionally experience joy. Stranger Things. Look, people die in Stranger Things. Sometimes people you really like. But there's enough 80s nostalgia and group hug energy that you come out the other side feeling pretty okay about things. Sad moments exist. But then Dustin says something funny and you're fine. Depression score, 3/10. You'll be sad for about 12 minutes and then want to rewatch the good parts. Emily in Paris. Nobody is depressed in Emily in Paris. Problems are solved by croissants and new outfits. I included it on this list as a control group. This is what zero depression looks like. Remember this feeling. Depression score, 0-10. You might be depressed that real life is not this. Tier for emotionally rough, but you'll recover moderate. The Crown. The Crown is extremely depressing, but in a very British, very dignified way. Nobody screams. Nobody has a breakdown in a parking lot. They just look out windows and feel things quietly, and never talk about it. Which is somehow worse. You don't cry watching The Crown. You just feel a deep, cold melancholy settle over you like a fog. Depression score, 6/10. Existential, but at least the outfits are magnificent. Squid Game. Listen, Squid Game is extremely depressing. People die playing children's games for money because capitalism has destroyed their lives. But it's also so stylistically wild that your brain processes it slightly differently. It's almost too surreal to be fully devastating. Almost. Depression score, 7/10. The children's game aesthetic genuinely softens the existential horror by about 15%. Tier 3 will affect your mood for several days. Beef. Beef is a masterpiece and I want everyone to watch it. I also want to be clear that watching Beef will make you sit very quietly afterwards and think about every petty grudge you've ever held. It's about a road rage incident that spirals into complete destruction of two people's lives. And it's so good that you can't stop watching. But at what cost? At what personal cost? Depression score, 8/10. Will make you reconsider sending that passive-aggressive email. Ozark. Ozark starts bad and ends worse. Every episode you think surely things can't get darker, and then they do. Marty Birdie is one of the most quietly devastating characters in TV history, a man watching his own soul disappear in real time. By season 3 you'll be watching with the lights on. Depression score, 8/10. The finale will break something specific inside you. Tier 2. Cancel your plans. You won't be okay. The Haunting of Hill House. The Haunting of Hill House is technically a horror show. It is also the most emotionally devastating piece of television about grief, addiction, and family that has ever been produced. The horror is almost a delivery mechanism for the feelings. You will cry at this show. You will cry in ways that confuse you. At one point you'll be crying and you won't even be sure what specifically triggered it. It's cumulative grief. And Mike Flanagan weaponized it against you. Depression score 9/10. Genuinely recommend not watching this alone. Tier 1. Number 1. The one I warned you about. When breath becomes air. Wait, that's a book. Let me recalibrate. The actual answer. Maid. Maid is about a woman escaping an abusive relationship with her young daughter and trying to rebuild her life from absolutely nothing. It is based on a true story. It is exceptionally well made. Every episode will leave you absolutely wrung out. There are moments of hope and then the hope gets taken away. There are moments of beauty and they make the hard parts hit harder. It is the best show on this list and the most painful show on this list simultaneously. Depression score 9/10. Not 10 because there is an ending, but you'll need a walk afterwards. Look, Netflix didn't set out to become the world's leading provider of premium emotional damage. They set out to make great TV, and they did. They just didn't warn us about the side effects. The shows in Tier 1 aren't bad shows. They're extraordinary shows. They just require a recovery period and possibly a check-in with someone who loves you. Now here's what I want to know. Which Netflix show has done the most damage to you personally? What were you not prepared for? Drop it in the comments. I read all of them. The best answers are going into part 2, which I'm already planning because apparently we have more ground to cover. Subscribe if you want more of this. We break down movies and TV every week. And sometimes we rank things by how much they've hurt us. Which, I'm realizing, is a very specific content niche, but apparently it works. See you next week.